Hi, Analisa Six here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the May 2024 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Virgo for sun and rising placements. Hi, Virgo. We are officially in May. It is May 6th today that I am recording this video, so I'm a little bit behind on horoscopes, but let's jump right in and talk about how Taurus season is going to positively impact you. So you, Virgo, are what's known as a mutable earth sign. So you are mutable, you're adaptable in the element of earth, and earth rules what it sounds like, our connection to all things physical in the earthly realm. Taurus is the fixed earth sign of the zodiac. And so Taurus is more about stabilizing things in the physical rather than being adaptable or mutable. It's more about grounding and stabilizing. Earth signs make what's called a trine to each other, where there is easy, fast moving energy between them because they are operating on a similar frequency, even if their modality is expressed differently. Modality is the fixed and the mutable. So Taurus season is actually a really positive time for Virgo people because you're getting this expression of earth energy fastly and swiftly kind of push towards you in a way that probably feels really centering and grounding, which Virgo, even though you're an earth energy that's connected to grounded earth frequencies, you're a mutable sign and you're adaptable. And so out of the three earth signs, you're the least grounded usually, unless you're somebody that does a lot of that work or happens to have naturally a lot of Taurus in your chart. So let's talk about where Taurus is hitting for Virgo. The area of the chart that we have highlighted with the sun in Taurus for the beginning and first part of May is the area that is ruled by the ninth house. And the ninth house is the area of the chart that has to do with our connection to values and belief systems, our connection to higher education and learning, publishing, also things like astrology and spirituality, religion, those things. So when the sun is highlighting this area of the chart, we might be engaging with the world in some way around that. You could feel an inclination to want to travel a lot. You could feel an inclination to want to delve into education or spiritual studies. If you're a writer and you are working on publishing something, or you're an artistic person and you're working on releasing something into the world, this is supported and highlighted during the month of May as well. One of the other things that we have starting out the month of May that's also in this area of the chart is Venus in Taurus. And so Venus is going to be in Taurus for the majority of May, highlighting this area of the chart. And it's really positive for all of those things that I mentioned. And it's making a really harmonious aspect to your identity and your sense of self. So another thing, it's a really good time for you to make decisions and live your life in a way that feels in alignment with that energy. Some of the energy that we're still processing during the month of May is Aries energy. So over the last couple of months, we've had a lot of energy passing through your house that rules marriage, sex, death, rebirth, estates, taxes, all of those things. And Mercury was retrograde here. And then we had, a lot of stellium energy here. We had an eclipse here. And so that area of the chart has been very active. This area of the chart is still active starting May out. It's just different. So Mercury is now direct in Aries and finishing up its time in Aries for the first start of the month for May. And so anything that you have been trying to wrap up around those things, you're going to be doing that over the first couple of weeks. Mars is now in Aries and will be passing through this area of the chart for the entire month of May. And so Mars passing through the eighth house is usually difficult. Mars can bring conflict in marital relationships. It can bring conflict around family in regards to financial assets or institutions. It does have a really positive impact on our sexuality, as it can ramp up our sex drive and our need to connect through sexuality. It's our connection. This house is also our connection to the occult. And because there's so much highlighting Taurus, this is a really good time to lean into esoteric studies or spiritual studies that are very empowering to your sense of self. It's also a really good time for taking action in these areas of your life if you feel like you need to be more confrontational and more leadership oriented in your life, because Virgo can be so mutable that sometimes you'll go with the flow when it's really not the thing that you want to be doing. And so, Virgo, a lot of Virgos I know are go with the flow, but not. It's like you give off more of like a, yeah, that's cool, I'm fine, but really you're not. Like really you want to have control over the situation, and you feel like you can do it better than the people around you. And Mars and Aries kind of like ignite some of that. I think that one of Virgo's humility areas that you have to work on is that it's not helpful to problem solve for other people all the time. People have to make their own mistakes and learn their own lessons. And often Virgos are really good at problem solving for other people and seeing what other people need to do. But there's usually a few blind spots with their own process. And so it's important that you don't give all of your energy away to people that aren't valuing it. You need to also figure out a way to give that energy to your own projects, your own sense of self. And, it's always easier to turn the light on everybody else and not look at ourselves. But you really need to kind of be mindful with that during this Mars and Aries energy, because while you might be in a position of having to navigate that or figure it out in a situation with other people, you're also needing to recognize when it's a waste of your energy and time and that you need to pour it back into yourself. So those are some of the themes that are going to come up for May. On May 7th, tomorrow, we're going to have a new moon in Taurus at 18 degrees of Taurus. And this is hitting that area of the chart around values and beliefs and, spiritual studies, religion, publishing, all of that. And so new moons are a great time to set intentions. So if you want to set intentions around those themes and kind of bringing in more things that are in alignment for you, living your life more in alignment, having more of a spiritual practice, doing things that are empowering, being more open to learning new things. This is a positive time to set intentions towards that. After our new moon, the next kind of shift in energy that we have is Mercury joining that Taurus party. So Mercury is going to be entering the 9th house of the Virgo horoscope on the 15th, and really amplifying your mind when it comes to those themes, the values, beliefs, education. If you are thinking about doing an educational program, it is super supported during the month of May. And this could also be self-study if you are wanting to learn something new. This is also a really positive time for you to be receptive to that. And again, spirituality and spiritual practices are also amplified for you. So developing more of a strong relationship to that in yourself is also really supported. After we have Mercury entering Taurus, we're going to have the sun entering Gemini. And the area that this is hitting for the Virgo horoscope is the area that has to do with your career. So when the sun moves into a new house, it's highlighting the energy of that house and bringing attention and vitality, energy in an amplified way here. And the 10th house is the area that rules our public life and also our career, our work life, and how we are operating within the public and all of those themes. And so here, your work gets a huge boost, and that also is going to be really positive for you if you have a lot of work goals and things that you've been wanting to manifest into your life. Shortly after the sun moves into Gemini, we're going to have a full moon in Sagittarius on the 20th, or I'm sorry, the 23rd. And the area that that's highlighting is the area that rules home and family. So full moons are really positive for releasing and letting go energy, and also setting intentions for energy that we want to manifest. The full moon is when the sun and the moon are in opposition to each other in the sky. So the sun's going to be still highlighting that career point. The moon's going to be in the house that rules home and family. And so themes around home and family and career are highlighted for Virgo on the 23rd. And this could also have to do with work-life balance. It could have to do with releasing narratives or behavioral patterns or values and beliefs around your work life or your home life that have previously been one way, but now you're shifting into another space. There could be a need to change something about the home or the family structure, it being in Sagittarius. There's a lot of emphasis on those themes. Shortly after that, we have our Venus, who's been, in domicile in Taurus. She's moving into Gemini as well and entering that house of career. So again, work life, career, like Venus is coming in to bless this and amplify it. And in Gemini, she's the esoteric ruler of Gemini. It's a really positive energy for Venus. So if you've been wanting to elevate in your career, this is a great time to do that. If you're looking for a new job, this is a great time to put energy into that. Venus is going to be here for a few weeks. And then after we have Venus entering Gemini, we also have Jupiter entering Gemini. So Jupiter on the 25th is going to be leaving Taurus after having been in Taurus for the past year and is going to be shifting into the mutable air sign of Gemini. One thing to note that I haven't spoken to is that Gemini energy is mutable air. And mutable air makes a square to mutable earth, Virgo, but you both are ruled by the planet Mercury. So there's a lot of mercurial energy with Gemini season, and just how much we are embracing kind of more of what Mercury has to offer as an archetype. And so that's really comfortable for you, but it's being expressed in a totally different way than what you're used to. Gemini is more fact-based in terms of intellectual understanding and scientific understanding. So that's something too that you might find yourself leaning towards, which I think is in alignment for Virgo. I think Virgo can also be very fact-based and very practical and analytical, just about different things and in a different way. But while there can be tension between that, there's also mutual understanding because of how similar the signs operate. So it's really good for taking your skills and applying it to your career and the work that you're doing in a way that is really working to your benefit. And with Jupiter here, Jupiter, isn't necessarily the most comfortable in Gemini, but Jupiter is still considered to be the great benefic, the good fortune energy. And so wherever Jupiter is, it's expanding us and pushing us to grow beyond where we've been. And so career and work stuff, like you're going to be expanding and growing beyond where you've been in terms of your understanding analytically too. And this is going to be happening for the next year in the horoscope chart for Virgo. All right, I'm going to leave you there. If you want a bigger breakdown on the transits for the month in a general way, I do a May astrology forecast video that's at the top of this playlist. If you would like to book a one-on-one session with me, you can email me at analisa6@ladyofleisure.com. My email's in the description box. And you can find me at ladyofleisure.com, thesobercurator.com. Feel free to hit like and subscribe if you want notifications on when I post these videos. And I wish you all the best of luck. I will see you in June.